Okay, good morning everyone. Okay, I'm not going to take this session today. Good morning. ఇలా అయితే కాదు, సెషన్కి వచ్చారా వేరే సెషన్కి వచ్చారా? Good morning. Okay, sounds good. So first of all, I'm really glad all of you came down on Sunday, and I didn't put the PPT wantedly because I know all of you already hate PPTs, and I wanted to keep it more interactive for all of you, and we'll actually engage. So we'll just break it down into two parts. How many of you want, see, andaru vachi hustle cheyandi ani cheptunnaru kada, right? But do you think there's a very structured process around startups? Yes, no? Okay, let's find out how many of you are still thinking of an idea or want to, how many of you want to start up actually? Can you just raise your hands? Okay, how many of you have started trying out some idea? Okay, few of you. How many of you are actually running a startup? And at least moving it. Few people. Okay, cool. So why are all of you here today? What do you want to take away? Next half an hour, 1 hour. I'll tell you why I'm the person talking this topic or why they brought me here. But we'll get to that. But before that, I want to understand, like, 1 hour tarata nan titkokunda, okay, session baunde ante, what do you want to take away from this session? Meer mohamad padde entrepreneurs kaleru. Yeah. The first thing is to be shameless, right? I think that's what Priya and all told you guys. We have to be shameless. So what do you want to take away? I'm genuinely asking you, all of you spending an entire day coming here and spending time. Em nerchukunnam anukuntunnaru? Meer andaru munduku vastara lekku nenu vasta? Anything is fine. Can all of you stand up once? I think the energy of the room is so low that I'll feel depressed now. Okay, mental health startup start cheyochu next. Okay, just stretch around, left, right, stretch out, breathe. Mancha. Andaru చేతులు లేపండి, stretch చేయండి. You will feel good. కొంచెం rush. Let that blush. I know since morning you're sitting and everyone is talking. So that's the reason. Okay, now please sit down and please help me take a good session because you guys will thank me later that you're hearing what you're hearing. Okay. Endukante the topic I'm actually going to cover, very few people in India actually teach this topic. Okay, so check it out. Me business school lalo nerpiyaru, me college lalo nerpiyaru. That is a topic I'm actually going to take on how to validate. Okay, so this is where I'll tell you a very structured step by step. Whenever you guys do Maggi, you see step by step way to make Maggi, right? Take a nice cup, 2 minutes lo ayipotadi, water poyandi, cheyandi. So similarly, I'm actually going to give you a step by step way of building a startup. Okay, if you listen properly for the next 30-45 minutes, you'll actually get a playbook, very simple step by step way to build your startup. Fair enough? Good deal? Can I get your attention for the next 30 minutes? Okay, great. I love the energy. Just inka kudurthu inka ila penchutuna pondi, tagginchakandi. And you have good lunch probably after that. Okay. So who am I? I'm Praveen. Primarily, I'm also one of you guys, not a student right now or not a Gen Z right now, but primarily right from my college days, I have been trying to start up, which is probably long ago. I will not tell you how long. You can check out LinkedIn on that. So I studied in Usmania campus, did my mechanical engineering. Right from college days, I wanted to start up, and appudu maku inka ila startup ecosystem or TG10X, nothing was existing there. So I was figuring out every 2 years, new industry, new area. Alla entante over the years, like almost 15 to 20 years, I have actually gone through a lot of journeys. So I have multiple tracks. One is entrepreneur. This is my third venture. What I'm building right now is called Founders First Network. So just like how everyone has a customer segment, my customer is all of you, are all the entrepreneurs. That's my customer segment. And what we are doing is we are actually trying to build Google Maps for all of you. Because most of you struggle figuring out, am I on the right path? And Jesus correcta tappa, ekkada help dortudi. You have so many questions coming up. So over there, like we are leveraging AI and we're building Google Maps for all of you, where after this, it'll become like a very structured, straightforward support system available. So it's like, you go to one place and you have access to hundreds of places, right? That's what we are building, out of which even TG10X will be one of the place where you can navigate, right? What did I do in the past? My other two startups, one was a company called Startup Byte. I think all of you know LinkedIn. I was doing LinkedIn for startups. So this was 2015 to 2019. I did that, and then we did a community management software like Facebook on subscription laga. That was the second thing, and this is my third venture. The second track is I have been academician, accidental academician or accidental teacher. So right from 2015, I have been giving a lot of guest talks on ideation, validation, business models. These started going viral. I got invited to all the top IITs, top B schools in India, and I've been teaching this topic called lean startups. So lean startups ఏంటంటే మీరు నార్మల్గా అందరూ ఏం చెప్తారు ఐడియా రాగానే go build it, right? And then take it to market, spend 3 months, 6 months, and then you sell it, and then you realize somebody will buy or not. And that's a jackpot. What I teach is the opposite, sell and build. Okay, even before building, what exactly do you need to build? That is what I teach. That's the topic. And then it spiraled, and 2018 onwards, I've been teaching in B schools as a visiting professor, guest faculty laga, Symbiosis, Pune, Mahindra, Flame, like quite a few, Bower. I teach in a lot of places this topic, or I'm doing a trailer of the topic today for you guys, and there are very few people in India who can teach this topic. That's the reason I was telling you that, pay due attention, because you're not going to get it again, right? It's not very structured knowledge outside. That's the second track. Third track, I've been an ecosystem enabler. And when I moved back to India, I did my MBA in the US, by the way, before this, and in entrepreneurship, and I came back to India. I worked in the US as well in venture accelerators and all that stuff. So ala chesendante, when I came back, I started consulting IIIT Hyderabad Incubator. I was helping them build their programs. Then it spiraled Indian Institute of Millet Research, Usmania, like I've been doing. And currently, I think all of you know T-Hub. I consult T-Hub also on their programs. So I help build the programs, kind of stuff, right? So ala, pretty much now I've been in many spaces, and most recently, just before Founders First, all of you know Daily Hunt, news app, Josh, TikTok kind of app. So I was part of the leadership team there. So I was actually building India's second biggest hyperlocal news app. I was running it, and also I was building political media. I mean, when elections, state central elections, the tech they're using for media monitoring was actually built by us behind the scenes. So that's like a very high-level snapshot about things. So that way, I've got an experience of startup side, education side, and also ecosystem side. So that is where I started realizing all this, and I realized that everything is disconnected. And that is where I started building Founders First Network. So we are launching the platform in another few weeks, and we'll start rolling in beta. But other than that, we also do ideation, validation programs, like 30 to 90 days kind of stuff to actually help people do it. So I hope all of you are convinced enough and have taken hundreds of entrepreneurs and shown results to every single person and worked with more than 1,000 entrepreneurs. So that way, what I'm telling you is not just gyan, it is something that we actually apply and people pay for it. So listen carefully and we'll go. Sounds good? Good stuff before lunch, and that's why they got me here for even having this session today. Okay. Having said this, now let's talk about going step by step, right? I told you I'll give you a manual and guidebook. So let's say somebody has no ideas or have many ideas. How many of you have no ideas? ChatGPT world we might not have no ideas. We probably haven't searched ChatGPT. So how many of you have many ideas and you struggle to pick one idea? Kondaru? Yeah. So most of us never start. Agree? Why don't we start most of the time? నాకు ఐడియా రాలేదు, నేను ఐడియా చెప్తే బాగాలేదు. This is the kind of thing that we have, right? So that is where most of you think ideas is the starting point. Agree? Today I'm actually going to break that mental model. Okay, everything that I'll tell today in the next half an hour, 1 hour will be opposite of what you have learned in your life. But everything will make sense, like driving in the US and UK where opposite sides of the road drive left versus right. Right? That's what we are going to do. So I'll give you the logic as well behind it. So here, first and foremost, most of you think idea is the starting point. Why? మీరు మాట్లాడాలి, మీరు మాట్లాడితే నేను మాట్లాడతా, లేకుంటే వెయిట్ చేస్తాను. Yes, please tell me. Yes, because the whole point is మీరు ఏదైనా చూసినప్పుడు మీకు సడన్ ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది, లేకుంటే మీరు ఫ్రెండ్ తో మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది, బయట కేఎఫ్సీలో తింటున్నప్పుడు ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది. సో యూ గైస్ ఆర్ గెటింగ్ సో మెనీ డిఫరెంట్ ఐడియాస్, బట్ యూ డోంట్ నో ఇస్ దిస్ అ బిజినెస్, because idea is not a business, idea is a solution. Agree? Just think about it. Idea is not a business, idea is a solution. At your home, maybe your mom is struggling with something and you see that any solution is there, she can actually get the help. Or in your college, your teacher is struggling with something and you're seeing that, can I do something to solve it? My friend is struggling with something, can I solve it? Correct? And మీరు ఎప్పుడు దీంట్లో మనీ చేయాలని ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఉండదు కదా ఇన్స్టెంట్ గా. If you do something and it'll help your mom, you're happy. It'll help your friend, you're happy. That is where solution is. But మీరు మీ మైండ్ లో తొంగి చూస్తే, do you see so much of stuff happening before you come to a solution? Did you see you discovered a problem? Did you see you're observing your mom? Did you see you can feel the pain of that person? And that is where eventually ఏమొస్తుంది, solution is coming to your mind. కానీ మనం బయట మాట్లాడేదంతా we start with solutions కాబట్టి the whole approach will be what? Solution. The second thing is, we love our solutions because it's like, you know how parents love their kids, right? This is like that. మీరు అందరు ఏంటంటే ఒక ఐడియా వచ్చింది, if you go and tell that idea to your friends, if they don't like it, what do? Unfriend them, not change the idea, right? This is what we do. So primarily what happens is, all of us start and love our idea so much that we want to bring it into a reality. Like how if you had a kid, I know a lot of you are too young, but eventually when you become a parent, you'll understand that your kid is the most smartest, cutest, best kid ever. That's what parents are, and that's what you are probably for your parents. Now this is where we are in so much love that you can't see the reality of it. That is what is the problem. So ekkada modelu petala, idea daggara modelu petala, modelu petadda ippudu. So the problem with idea is, think like, ఇప్పుడు if I give all of you one knife in hand, అది ఎక్కడ వాడాలి చెప్పండి? కిచెన్ లో వాడాలా, రెస్టారెంట్ లో వాడాలా, సర్జరీలో వాడాలా, ఎక్కడ వాడాలి? కరెక్ట్. కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఇఫ్ యూ గో విత్ దట్ యాటిట్యూడ్, బై దట్ టైమ్ విల్ డై. కరెక్ట్? ఎందుకంటే వాట్ యూ నీడ్ ఫర్ అ కిచెన్ ఇస్ వెరీ డిఫరెంట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ నైఫ్ వర్సెస్ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ ఇన్ అ రెస్టారెంట్. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ అగ్రీ విత్ దట్? Surgical knives are very different. Agree? So now you understand why it is very dangerous to already have a knife in hand. That is the problem with ideas. మీరు ఐడియా నాది ఉంది, ఇది ఒక నైఫ్ అన్నమాట, అది కిచెన్ లో ట్రై చేస్తారు, అక్కడ ట్రై చేస్తారు, అక్కడ ట్రై చేస్తారు, ఎక్కడ ట్రై చేసినా కూడా ఛాలెంజ్ అవుతుంది. That is where even when Priya or Abhinav were talking, I was listening to the stream, so I was following the stream. So primarily this is where why they were saying pivoting, now starting something different, changing something, is because they started with ideas, they saw some problems and they're doing it, but then they realized that okay, maybe ఇది ఇక్కడ కూడా వాడచ్చు, సో ఇది కూడా చేయొచ్చు, అలా అలా తెలుస్తుంది. అర్థమైందా? సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ టేక్ అవే టుడే? షుడ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఐడియా ఆర్ షుడ్ యూ నాట్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఐడియా? స్టార్ట్. మళ్ళీ అక్కడికి వచ్చారు, రామాయణం అంతా ఎత్తిన తర్వాత రాముడు ఎవరు అన్నాడు. షుడ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ ఆర్ నాట్ స్టార్ట్? Not start with the idea, because you can get an idea, but I'll tell you the floor by floor. Like we'll build a building today, okay? Ground floor, first floor, and then I'll tell you step by step, like how I promised. But don't get biased with the idea, because if you get biased with the idea, it's like me already buying a kitchen knife and trying to figure out where to use it. Understanding now? So imagine if you do it the other way around. I realize a restaurant has a problem, and restaurant has specific problem and they need this kind of knife to cut the meat, for example. దానికి మీట్ కి బెస్ట్ నైఫ్ ఏదో మీరు అమెజాన్ లో యూ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ అండ్ యూ బై ఇట్ or you build one. Is that a very logical, sensible way of doing it? And now you have built the best knife ever for that restaurant to cut meat. Agree? Now you go to your mom, see the problem that they are facing there, and then you are actually building something that is very relevant for her. Isn't it the best solution? Obviously. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమవుతుందా? So it's like, what is it? Finding who is hungry first, and then finding what are they hungry about, and then if you say that, oh, I like Japanese food, then obviously what should you start? You should do something in Japanese food. Now Japanese food, అది వాళ్ళు క్విక్ సర్వీస్ రెస్టారెంట్ కావాలా, ఆఫ్లైన్ రెస్టారెంట్ కావాలా, క్లౌడ్ కిచెన్ కావాలా, స్విగ్గీలో డెలివరీ చేయాలా? యు ఆర్ ఫైండింగ్ అవుట్ ఆల్ దిస్. వాళ్ళ బడ్జెట్ ఏంటి? 200 రూపీస్ అండ్ బిలోనా, 500 రూపీస్ అండ్ బిలోనా? ఇలా చేసరికి ఏంటి అంత కామన్ సెన్స్ లాగా ఉంది కదా బిల్డింగ్ స్టార్ట్అప్స్ నా. And this is what is actually the real points that most of us miss out, because everyone is like L&D, build cheyandi, do it over the weekend, 3 days lo magic cheyandi ante workout kaadu. Startups ala workout. The reality is it's a very structured problem solving exercise that all of us go through. Now if you understand these parts, always understand that don't start with the knife, start with the journey that I'm going to talk about, and knife will be an outcome. Because imagine, I know that this person is hungry, they are hungry for Japanese food and they just want it delivered to their house and they have a budget of 300 rupees. All of you in this room can build amazing companies for that. Agree? Because I gave you the entire manual for it and you'll be ready to build it. But if answers telinappudu em avutadante, you're assuming they have money, you're assuming they will go to a restaurant, and when all these assumptions are happening, what will happen? You're going to mess it up. Agree? Fair enough? Sold to this logic to start with? Now let's talk about 5 floors of a building, and if 5 floors you can apply it anywhere to solve problems or build a business. Okay, remember it. At the end of it, I'll ask you and you have to tell me the 5 floors. Okay, like I promised the manual, I'll give you the manual. Applying the manual is next level problem. We'll figure that out if some of you are starting up, but otherwise this will help you think properly, because one of the highest problem in startups is people don't have clarity. ఏం చేస్తున్నావు అంటే 5కి 5 ఆన్సర్లు చెప్తా. If I do that, that means that you exactly don't know what you're building, what you're selling. That's the thing. Okay, so what can be the ground floor or basement? What can be the basement? What do you guys think? Problem? Come on, today is the day to be shameless. If you guys want to be founders, you are in this room. See, I'm so shameless. Even after figuring out so many startups, I'm still figuring out my life. Okay, that's the reality. So, ippudu endante, I always tell people this: you can be shameless today or carry these mistakes along, and when you become the CEO of a big company, then you look very bad in front of media, talking the wrong things and stupid things. So it's good to be stupid today. Let people know that, okay, I learned something, and this is one of the first quality of a startup founder. If you guys want to go sell, 9 out of 10 will reject, like how everyone told you. That is where ముందు బాధ అనిపిస్తుంది, తర్వాత ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్ వస్తుంది, తర్వాత we become neutral. It's okay. Yet another guy, it's like getting rejected in love, right? After 20 people reject you, you're like, it's okay. Right? Same thing. Startups would ante. So this is where what we are doing is, but unless you propose to someone, how will you know whether they like you or not? Same as in startups, where you are actually going and doing that small exercise. So now what we are doing is, we are going to build like real estate, this building. We are going to build floor by floor, but remember this step by step, not only here, even if you want to do engineering careers, any careers, I'm teaching you 101 of problem solving. Just దీన్ని తీసుకొని నాన్ ప్రాఫిట్ అప్లై చేయండి, ఫర్ ప్రాఫిట్ అప్లై చేయండి, apply it anywhere, or you put money layer on top of it, it becomes a business. That's what I'm actually covering today. Okay, fair enough? It's 12:20. By 1 o'clock I'll close along with your questions as well. So first is -1 floor, basement. Some of them said problem. Do you think something else should be the starting point? Customers? Yes, all good answers actually. There's no wrong answer here. We are actually brainstorming together as a group. Customers is one thing, problems is one thing. ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైనా మీకు టెక్నికల్ టర్మినాలజీస్ కష్టం అనిపిస్తే, థింక్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ లైఫ్ and then use common sense and things will start falling into place. Now imagine, instead of this building, some builder gave me a empty land. Okay, that empty land is your fresh startup where you haven't started anything, day 0. Agree? Now the empty land daggara, what do you see first? Of course you'll see the land. Now this land is what? Market research. You see that దీని అసలు ల్యాండ్ ఏరియా ఎంత ఉంది, అసలు ఏం కట్టాలి, 3 floors 5 floors, ఇదంతా you do some research, right? That is one step. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll use common sense and I'll tell you how common sense is no different than building a startup. Right? That's what we'll do today. Okay, you figured out the research part. Next, what else? Should I build a mall here? Should I build an academic institution here? Should I build a co-working space here? How do you get to know? By taking feedback, insights, right? So first of all, You check your capacity if I'm the right person to build or not. Agree? అసలు మీ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్లో 5 కోట్లు ఉన్నాయి, 5 రూపాయలు చూసుకున్నారా ఫస్ట్? రైట్. సో whenever before you go and check out the market, all of you might have picked one industry, right? Like how they said I'm going to create an economy, or he said about videography and all that stuff, right? So here the point is, each of you might be passionate about something. Healthcare anachu, fintech anachu, education anachu, ekkado oka you want to solve problems, right? And that is where this is called industry or market. And there's a nice technical terminology called founder market fit. Okay, మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను. ఫౌండర్ మార్కెట్ ఫిట్. మనం ఏమనుకుంటాము, స్టార్ట్అప్ ఫౌండర్స్ ఆర్ సూపర్ హీరోస్, ఏ ఐడియా ఇచ్చినా చేసేస్తారంటే అట్లా వర్కౌట్ కాదు కదా. యూ క్యాన్ గెట్ అ ఇంజనీర్ టు గో టు డ్రైవ్ అ ఫ్లైట్, రైట్? సో somebody has to be trained on flight, and this is where always the -1 floor is first not looking outside, looking inside. What is looking inside? First assessing what are you good at, what are your strengths, are you connected in something, do you have some special advantage? That is what it is. As students, you might ask me saying that, Praveen, I'm just starting my career and all that stuff, what special advantage do I have? Fair enough. But here, one of the things you can do is, I'll give you a nice example. Now imagine you have to build this building. Let's say you have nothing. Person 1 has nothing. Person 2 has 5 crores in the bank. Person 3 has 100 crores in the bank. Person 4 has 100 crores plus 100 connections. Person 5 has 100 crores, 100 connections, and also government approvals. Who do you think has the best shot? Last person. Founder market fit ante ide. Adhamainda? So now what happens here is, most of us are actually in that stage where we are actually trying to figure out, am I the right person or not? If you are not the right person, it's not that you don't have anything, otherwise why are you thinking about that idea in first place? Maybe you have seen some people, maybe you have some connections, maybe you have some mentors. Align chestamante, you can always go back and take a notepad and write down, what all advantages do I have? Am I studying in a college where I can go talk to students? Am I studying in a place where college has an incubator and helping me out? You can start writing all the advantages that you have that can make you successful. But let's say advantages anni meeku chaala takku unnai. Guys, please, I have ADHD problems in life. Meer distract aithe nenu distract aitha. Okay, so either be here or feel free to walk out and chill, right? Totally cool. I just want to focus on people who are genuinely interested and we are spending time together, right? So the teacher in me comes out sometimes, so don't worry about that. So other than that, now imagine you don't have good founder market fit. Em cheyali ippudu? Now imagine you are that builder who's building that building, but you don't have all the resources you want. What will you do? You will? Exactly. You'll find your co-founder. You'll say, I have engineering expertise to build this building. Somebody else has expertise to fund that building. Or somebody else has good expertise on architecting that building. So together, we all form a team or become co-founders. Now you understand how to build your -1 floor. This way, what you are doing is to work on this idea. Who are the people that have to be coming together to actually build this company? That is where he has a co-founder, she has a co-founder. That way, co-founder lenappunda, even in my previous startups I had co-founder. This startup I don't have a co-founder, but my team is my co-founders in some level. Getting it now? Everyone clear with -1 flow? The basement is always about you knowing why are you the best person to build this. If you don't have answers, figure it out, or at least start off with whatever you know, and then rest, pull in people. Like for example, you want to build an amazing academic curriculum, but you are just a student out of college. What do you think you can do? Exactly, find the experts, consult, take them for consulting, take them for advisory. Now all of you have suddenly become expert academicians, right? Because your team suddenly looks so strong that I have 20 years of experience and somebody building this. Now you don't look like a student anymore because you're showing all 3 big names behind you and saying that these are the people who are actually designing this, but I'm running the startup. Can you see how you can show your weaknesses into strengths now? So everyone clear about -1? Shall we move on? This is all like a trailer. And I take it like a 3-month subject, okay? So what we are doing is like ultra short version of it. Now let's go to the ground floor. What is the ground floor? Somebody said problem, somebody said customer, somebody said solution. What do you think logically, common sense wise, has to be the ground floor? Sorry? Investment and annaru. So think like this. Sorry? What to build? Okay, that's a good one. What to build? I'm looking at LKG. See, everything I talk is LKG stuff. Did you find any word that I told which is complex? No, right? A founder market fit good. I told you that just. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఒక పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఎలా మ్యాచ్ మేకింగ్ చేస్తారో ఇది కూడా అంతే కదా ఫౌండర్ మార్కెట్ ఫిట్. యూఆర్ మ్యాచింగ్ విత్ ద మార్కెట్ ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ అ పర్సన్. దట్స్ వాట్ ఫౌండర్ మార్కెట్ ఫిట్ ఇస్. ఆర్ బిట్వీన్ ఫౌండర్స్ ఇట్స్ లైక్ మ్యారేజ్ in a way. You are doing matchmaking, correct? So having said that, the ground floor is something that all of you know. All the 5 floors are something all of you know. By the way, I'm just making sure you think in that order. That's what is my goal. So come on, quick. Take a shot. This is how we know who founders are. Problem. Okay, now let's discuss about why each of them. And you'll start understanding what is the thing. Now, most of the times when you're building stuff, if you say, I start with a problem. Now, let's take an example of a problem. Can anybody give one example of one problem? We can actually work with that. Come on. Lekunde first inko workshop cheyalanunta. Problem discovery workshop. I see India is one of the best country to find problems. పొద్దున్న లేసినప్పటి నుంచి రాత్రి వరకు ఆల్ యూ సీ ఇస్ ఓన్లీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, రైట్? ఎయిర్ పొల్యూషన్. ఓకే, నౌ హౌ డు వి రైట్ ఇంటూ అ సింపుల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్? టేక్ సింపుల్ థింగ్స్. ఓకే, మీరు అందరు స్టూడెంట్స్ కదా, లెట్స్ టేక్ సింపుల్ థింగ్స్. ఐఎమ్ అనేబుల్ టు ఫైండ్ ఇంటర్న్షిప్స్, జాబ్స్, మోస్ట్ ఫేవరెట్ టాపిక్. విల్ ప్రాబ్లీ సాల్వ్ దట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ నౌ. ఓకే, సో విల్ ఫిగర్ అవుట్ సంథింగ్ అరౌండ్ ఇట్. సో if somebody is saying that I'm unable to find a job, let's say that is a starting point, like how some of you said problem. Is it super clear or is it confusing? Is it super clear or is it confusing? What do you guys think? Come on guys, I know it's Sunday but your brain is not shut down. Not a holiday. Yes, no, let's discuss. See, like I said, right, not you, even experienced founders struggle with this topic. I'm not kidding. 99% of experienced founders also don't know the subject. So all I'm trying to tell you is it's not like you guys are the only people struggling with it. It's not taught. Globally, it is used very well. So don't worry that I'm looking bad. Nobody's looking bad. Okay? And not memory power chala bad. So honestly. Okay. Fair enough. He's saying that the objective is not clear. Now let's say I'll just give him unable to find a job and say go build a company. Now I'll not tell him any other instructions. Do you think he'll build the company in the right way or not? That means that is it my first step kada? What question is coming to your head? What is bothering? I know something is bothering for all of you, but what is that bothering thing when I said unable to find a job? What question is coming to your head? Do I have the right skills? Am I working the right way? Okay. But who thinks all that? Okay. I'll say that I'm selling a Mercedes Benz. Okay. What comes to your head? You are the sales guy. I'm telling that go sell this Mercedes Benz car. Exactly. If you take that Mercedes Benz car and go to somebody who is getting 5 lakhs per year salary, what is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. Or you're taking a 5 lakhs car and going to somebody who's earning 1 crore, again nothing will happen. And this is where, what is that word that I'm trying to get out of you for ground floor? Correct. Target customer means somebody has a problem, but we don't know who that somebody is. And if you don't understand that, how will you solve the problem? That is why when I said restaurant, when I said mom, when I said kitchen, I said so many things because we are just trying to find out who has that problem. Because if you don't know who has that problem, what are you going to do to solve it? Clear ఇప్పుడు అందరూ? Because like you rightly said, problem is the first thing that comes to our head, and that is correct also. తప్పేం లేదు. కానీ if you start unpeeling it, you realize that problem కింద కూడా there is a floor. which is the who is having that problem. And that is where, if you can nail your customer segments, and a ground floor, at least in my mental models or what I teach, is ground floor is customer segmentation or customer segment. Yes, please tell me.
After problem and target audience come to this,
no, absolutely.
What is the problem you think that who is facing it?
Absolutely. He made a very good point. After problem only you get to know who has the problem, correct? But your subconscious mind already has seen somebody, and that's why you discovered the problem. Problem is always attached to a person, right? You out of thin air the problems gurturavu. Sorry, cheppa. Yeah, empathy means you're observing somebody, you're talking to somebody, you're feeling that yourself. So what I'm trying to tell you is, problem and customer are not separate, they're together. But if you have to pick one, I'm telling you two options. So any of you want to start your company, I'll give you a very easy way. Either find one customer and figure out all the problems they have. Okay, take one of the persons in this classroom or in this session and say that I'll ask them all the problems they have, or I'll observe them for one day. Like I'm shadowing you for one day and I'm seeing all the problems you face from the time you came from your house to this place. What all did you struggle? Did you struggle to book a cab? Did you struggle to get your breakfast? Did you do XYZ? I'm getting list of problems. Second approach, maybe you saw some problem and you're so frustrated, like going from here to Uppal every day is 2 hours in traffic. And you're so frustrated that I want to solve this problem. Okay, fair enough? Or going to your college's probably. That's when you might struggle. Fair enough? So, ikkada problem kelli, malli again we are trying to find out who is facing that 2-hour commute. And you are again getting to customer. Fair enough? If you guys do this, all of you today itself can start your startup. Or at least start working on an idea. Fair enough? And that is why, ground floor, if any of you are struggling to see where to start, you have to do amazingly good customer research. Daniki endante, if you don't know who to pick somebody who you think you understand. Pick somebody, could be other friends, students, teachers, people you see around you. Go and start talking to them and understanding their problems. But if you fall into that category who says that I think I know a problem I'm really working on, then we'll talk about the problem part, which is the next floor of the customer. So ground floor, everyone is sorted with customer?
Yes.
Okay, Japan.
Then you feel like it's like a pilot testing.
Correct. So he's asking more about customer. Now let's take an example. When I said they're unable to get jobs, what came to your head? Who do you think is the target customer? Sorry?
The one who is
unemployed people. How clear is unemployed people? Under customer segment. Is it clear enough? Yes. Come, let's discuss and debate. Depending on stream that they're looking for job. Because all of your students or most of your students, your thinking is like only students are looking for job. Do you guys agree? Ikkada over na working professionals kuda job estutarani cheppaledu. Yes, exactly. There are people who want to change their job. There are still undergrads who want to get a job. There are people who have graduated and for 2 years they didn't find a job. There are women who are restarting careers. They took a career break and they want to come back to a job. Can you see how many segments came when I started talking about unable to find a job? Is it starting to make sense? And this is where never get biased. If you are thinking that whatever comes to my mind first, that is what I'm going to run behind, what is going to happen? You are going to mess up. I'm telling you, right, as much as you stop loving your idea and your thinking and yourself, you'll build better companies. Because you need reality check in life. So, this subject that I teach, which I call as lean startup methodology, or globally that's what it's called. In that, we never do one customer segment. We write multiple segments. So, job, we have to figure out, but who needs it? And who needs it and who will pay for it? Imagine a student, if I solve it and they can't pay, then I'll not build for a student. Getting it? Because I can help build for a student, but let's say they're not paying me, how will I survive as a company? That's a hobby, it's not a business. Correct? But imagine a working professional is willing to put some money for somebody who's helping switch careers. Maybe I'll build for them. Getting it now? So, think that there are 4 roads to go to Delhi from Hyderabad. We are figuring out which road works for us. Getting it now? So, road 1 is working professionals, road 2 is students, road 3 is people who have graduated, road 4 is women who are restarting careers, and there could be 10 other roads if you start segmenting it. Agree? Clear till here? పక్క సైలెన్స్ ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది అందుకే డౌట్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే యా చెప్పండి. యా
Customer will face the same problem 10 years down the line, or we wait for the last we wait for the
fair enough. It's a good question he asked. Should you think long term or should you think short term? What do you guys think? Okay, I'll give you real life example. Anne basic examples. You'll get the answers. See, I'm telling you, right? All of you know by age of 10, all of you know everything. Basics. Right? I'll give you an example. Now imagine you're a daily wage laborer. Okay, and every day you have to survive. Now, what do you really think? You'll think for tomorrow or think for next 5 years? So the answer is every startup is trying to survive. And the beauty is in startups is what you start with and what you end with will never be the same. See, just now only we changed 3 times in the last 15 minutes talk. Or you're telling those founders telling that we're changing so much. That is because the reality is what you think people want and what people actually do, there will always be a difference. Fair enough? Everyone will say that I'll join a gym on Jan 1st and do every day for next 1 year and they never go to gym after the second day. That's why gyms are very empty, very busy on Jan 1st, very empty after day 5. So you'll say I'll do a lot of non-profit, but you never even have 1 hour to go for doing non-profit. You'll call your friends and say this Sunday let's go out for a movie and you'll never go plan that movie or go for that movie. Fair enough? That's because what people tell and how people behave, there's always a gap. So మనం ఏం చేస్తాం? I sent a survey to 100 people. Everyone said, I love your product, I'll buy your product, I love your idea. So we blindly go build and then we ask for money. They are like, oh, I just filled a survey. I never meant it, right? Or they might have actually meant it, but they probably think something else is better in the market than your company. Fair enough? And this is where all of you need to really segment your customers, because if you don't know who you are building for, what are you building? Who are you solving it for? This is core. And like what Mr. like I don't know his name, but sorry. What Arvind has said, it's not that again daily wage laborer every day choose call me founders laga meeku vision undochu. Where you have vision, but vision is like you want to help women restart careers. That can be a vision, but how do you get there? Nobody knows. That's like Delhi. You have to figure out your path to Delhi, and the beauty is I give the same idea to every single person in this room. Each one will come up with a very different company. That is because the segment you'll pick will be different. The problem you'll pick will be different. Your solution will be different. So everyone who has maths background knows permutations and combinations. Just in that permutations, combinations of these 5 floors itself, you will actually have thousands of companies coming out of this room. Fair enough? So the first thing always, my genuine suggestion is, figure out customer segments. And customer segments చేసినప్పుడు ఎలా చేయాలంటే, many people come and say, Praveen, students is my customer segment. Is it a good answer or a bad answer? What do you say? Okay, good. That's the right answer. Why is it a bad answer? Students are so many. So what should you do further next?
what is the list out of the type of student?
Exactly. You have to break it down further. Because do you think the person studying in a tier 1 city versus tier 3 city, they will act the same way? Will they have the same budget? Will they do things digitally the same way? No, right? అలా చేసినప్పుడు అందరిని కలిపి ఎందుకు సాల్వ్ చేస్తున్నారు మీరు మరి? తప్పు కదా. And this is where customer segmentation is extremely critical, because ఇక్కడ మీరు సరిగ్గా టెస్ట్ చేయకుంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే everything else fails. So think like this building, every floor has to be good. If this floor is breaking, then future floors will go for a toss. That is why more than 50% or more than 95% of the companies fail, or more than 50% of the companies don't have product market fit, because they didn't do the basics properly. అందుకనమాట. సో జస్ట్ లైక్ హౌ ఫిట్నెస్ లో వెయిట్ తగ్గించాలంటే ఒక స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ ప్రాసెస్ లో, స్టార్ట్అప్స్ బిల్డ్ చేయాలంటే కూడా దిస్ అ వెరీ స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ ప్రాసెస్ యూ కెన్ ఫాలో, అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ వీఆర్ డిస్కసింగ్ టుడే. సో ఇమాజిన్ ఇఫ్ యూ క్లియర్లీ నో ఐఎమ్ టార్గెటింగ్ tier 1 MBA students in Hyderabad. I'm betting you all of you can go do great customer research. All of you can go ask them problem statements, solve something, see how much they can pay and charge them for it. Agree? And this is where I always tell people that when you're doing customer segmentation, don't build oceans, build ponds. చిన్న చిన్న పాండ్స్ తయారు చేసుకోండి. ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే, ఇమాజిన్ ఇక్కడ ఈ రోడ్ ఉంది కదా, ఇఫ్ ఐ ఆస్క్ యూ టు సాల్వ్ ద ట్రాఫిక్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఆఫ్ హైదరాబాద్ versus asking you to solve the traffic problem of just this road outside the building, what is easy to do? This one, I'm telling you tomorrow morning, if I put a hackathon today, all of you will come up with a solution by tomorrow morning. What difference happened? We actually built a pond. This is a pond. And you said, I'll solve for this. But if you solve for this, can you extend it till there? Yes, that's what Amazon did, or anybody did, right? They started with books and then they started selling more things and more things and more things. So each of you can solve problems very fast if you can scope the problem to very small area. That is the beauty of problem solving. So one line I want all of you guys to remember is, to solve any problem, define it really well. The best, fastest way to solve problems is to define it well. Most of them don't understand how to define. That's where most of them struggle. Fair enough? Customer. What is an explorer of the customer? Now clear? Customer segmentation. So that way, don't worry. ఎందుకంటే మీరు అందరు ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి తెలుసా, బయట వాళ్ళు ఐఎమ్ సాల్వింగ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ టాప్ 10 కాలేజ్ ఇన్ హైదరాబాద్ అంటే తక్కువ చూస్తారు. Like people think, oh, so uncool. What will investors think? What will my family think? That is all we are worried about. We are not. So you're indirectly building for investors, not for yourself or your customers. That's the reason you struggle so much. What is an explorer of the customer segment? Now we'll go fast. Now you figured out who you're selling, or you're saying these 4 people need it, but I'm going to do research and figure out who needs it. What is the next thing after customer? Problem. You forgot your stuff. Problem. So this is where after you figure out your customer segment, you're saying, now I'll go figure out what problems they have. But do you think all problems are equal? Every problem is not equal, right? If I say walk for 1 kilometer or you have to go for 20 kilometers, which is a bigger problem for you? Correct. So alane endante, even in people's life, there are problems which are more serious and there are problems which are less serious. Now what happens is, you like one problem and that's again like your knife. I want to solve only this problem. There might be a big problem where that guy is jumping from the building, but you're still, I'll say that I'll just open the gate here only, that's the problem. I'll not fix that jumping from the building problem. So most of you again don't select the right problem in the set of problems they have. So this is the next step. How do you know something is seriously a big problem? I'll give you a nice hack that you guys can remember. Can you guys think of how do you know something is much bigger problem than something else? Just think about your life. Now, how do you know something is a bigger problem than something else? I'll give you a list of 5 problems, but how do you know which one is a bigger problem than others?
The impact that you're facing.
Correct. Impact that you're facing. Second, you will be looking for solutions. You'll be trying it out. It's an easy solution, but let's go one step behind. Now imagine you have to travel 2 hours every day. మీరు రోజు ఏమైనా కొత్త సొల్యూషన్ వచ్చిందా ఎత్తుతారా? కార్ పూలింగ్ వచ్చిందా, ఏదైనా ట్రైన్ వస్తుందా, ఇంకా బస్ వస్తుందా, ట్రాఫిక్ రూట్స్ ఏమైనా మార్పు? అగ్రీ ఆర్ డిసగ్రీ? If something is serious enough a problem, people constantly keep looking for solutions or keep looking for alternatives. Like for example, if 2 of them are working professionals and they have a kid, you like it or not, they'll keep looking for a mate. Even if they don't have the best platform in the world, they'll figure out some solution, they'll drop the kid somewhere and still fix with some average solutions. Agree? And this is how you get to know. So when you see people, if they are not doing anything about it, do you think it's a serious problem? No, they're chill about it. I'm daily going half an hour, 2 hours and I'm coming back. I'm not even trying to look for any solution available. That means it's not a serious problem. A student looking for a job after graduation is a serious problem because they want to get a job at any cost. And that is where so many people fool them big time. Because the intensity of the problem is high. But imagine a 3rd year student, they don't really care about getting a job right away. They are like, it's okay, I have 1 more year's time. So now you understand the difference? Intensity of the problems. And this is where intensity of the problem is super important, because most of the startups are not world's best companies. You're just starting off. You can't build the world's best companies on day 1. And that is where, if the pain point is higher, they will still use your solution because Samsungs of the world, Apples of the world are not solving it. And that is why they'll come to you. Now do you understand why people go to startups? Because you're solving something that the market is not solving. And that is the reason why they're coming to you in first place. Because Hero Cycles is selling cycles, but let's say there are people who are doing national level competitions and they need a very custom cycle, and Hero Cycles will not do that cycle. But a startup might say that we are only building for Olympians or people who are trying to get to Olympics. Now all these Olympians will go there, right? Exactly. Now that's a startup. Getting it? How I'm segmenting people and doing it. So after problem, what comes next? Customer, problem, solution. Everyone agree? I need some energy. Yes? Okay. Now by now you know that I'm the bad guy. So solution is not the answer. Sure. Like I said, right, everything is going to be very different than what you thought. Between solution and problem, there is one more floor in between. Okay, I doubt anybody can answer that because it's called assumptions. Okay, sounds like a very fancy word. What is assumptions? Assumptions. Okay, I'll give you another nice word to know what assumptions are. It's called because. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమవుతుందా assumptions అంటే ఏంటో? Student is unable to find a job because. Now give me answers for because. Because they don't have skills. Okay, point 1. Because they are not consistent and disciplined. Point 2. They are not focused. They don't have their LinkedIn profile. They don't have a good resume. Agree, yeah, Gada? All of you. Today now we'll build companies next half an hour actually. See, all of you are already telling. I'm not kidding. It's not too hard to build startups. You know, you actually have to follow structured process. Yes, running startups is hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I don't want to make everything look too cool. Startups is absolute intense, the highest form of sports in some level, right? Mentally, physically, everything. But what I'm trying to tell you is, now, each of you told me different things. Let's take 2 or 3. One is, student is unable to find a job because they don't have good interviewing skills, let's say. And the second because is, because they don't know how to qualify the aptitude test. Third could be because they don't even have a good resume. Fair enough? All 3 look fair reasons. Now, if each of these because is what you believe, that is. Because why each of you told different answers? Why didn't all of you tell the same answer? That is because each of you think this works like this because of this reason. My mom has a problem because of this reason. That college has a problem because of this reason. I'm not able to start up because of this reason. Maybe that reason could be right or wrong. Agree? Okay, I'll pause here. Reason can be right or fair enough. You might think that that guy is not starting because they don't have funds. But you suddenly realize that they have 10 crores in their bank. Then you realize that that is not the reason, something else is the reason. Maybe their dad is not allowing them to start a company. They are saying, come join the family business, don't start your own company, come join the family business. And this is where most of these reasons are the reasons why you think this person has this problem. Fair enough? That student is unable to find a job because of this reason. Agree now? Clear? Okay, so ikkada because lo entante, now 2 things might happen. Either it is right or it is wrong. If it is right, now let's say student is unable to find a job because they don't know how to clear the interviews. If this is right, what will happen? What is the next thing, next floor? I told you after assumptions, what is the next floor? Means you have cleared that floor, everything is a floor, it's like game. Cleared level 0, cleared level 1, level 2, level 3. So in this, assumptions is the next floor. In that assumption you said because they don't have good interviewing skills. And next floor is solution. Correct? Now in this solution, what are we doing is, if all of you know that they are not clearing because of interviews, what companies will you come up with now? All of you know that different answers. Tell me. Come on, I think you'll lose your confidence with me. Mock interview preparation, courses, you can build digital platforms, you can do offline courses, you can do weekend workshops for interviews, or you can connect them with mentors. Can you see how many companies are coming with one because? And this is why I was telling you that all of you can build different companies for the same because. That is because you think that this is the way to go, right? And now let's go back and take a step. Let's say this because did not work out. Everyone is doing good interviews, but there is some other problem. Okay? So they're clearing the technical round, but they're missing out something else. 10 minutes. And yeah, if they want to listen more, I'm happy, but yeah, I'll keep it for lunch. So I just want to cover these things because I can't leave the building in between. So primarily, the thing is, ikkada, let's say this is not the reason. Interviews is not the reason. Then what do you think we should do now? If your because fails, it is like pillars of that building. If pillars don't exist, what will happen? Your entire building will crash. Because you're saying that my friend didn't come because he had this exam, but you realize that person didn't have an exam in first place. Then your whole thing has changed, right? Whole world has changed. And this is where if because is not correct. What should you do next? See, it's building, right? Either you go up or you go down. If you can't go up, where should you go? Down, that's it. That's the answer. All of you know the answers. So you have to go down. That means that I'm going back and again seeing whether my problem statement or my assumptions are correct. If not, because of this assumption, can I go to other assumption? Or if not that assumption, other assumption. Getting it now? But if your assumptions itself are not working out when you're testing it, then problems. Even if problems are not working, customer. Now you're getting it now? So I'll give you a simpler example. Maybe this looks complicated. You're going from Hyderabad to Delhi. There are 4 roads. So you're going 10 kilometers in each road and seeing whether I'm going on the right path. And after you go 10 kilometers, you realize that that road is good. What do? You move further, another 10 kilometers. You realize that road is bad. You come back and you go in the second road. Then you go in the third road. When you do this exercise, eventually you'll reach Delhi, right? Because every 10 kilometers you're checking and saying, am I clearing this floor and moving forward. That's what lean startup methodology is all about, right? Now that is where the solution comes into place. Now from the solution, you have product, MVPs, there's a subject around pricing testing, then channel testing. So alala intente, if you saw, solution came in almost the 4th floor or 3rd floor for us. Can you see now why I don't care about ideas? Because if you told student having unable to find a job because of interview skills and see the solutions you came up with, each of you gave a different solution. But if you did the other way around, you would have been struggling to go through these roads and figure out the thing. Now do you understand how to solve problems in a very beautiful way? This is what is the topic. So if you do these first 4 floors, it will go back to what he was telling on knowing what to build. Not even building the building, what to build. Till that 4th floor is the knowledge you got today to know what to build. Once you know all this, you exactly know that there is a customer, there is a problem, this is the assumption under which people really care about it, and I do a test and I realize it, and I know that is true. And then my solution, again, will do testing. So in lean startup methodology, it will never be one customer, one problem. We do C1, C2, C3, P1, P2, P3, assumptions, list solutions. We keep experimenting and doing it, but it's a much longer topic and a different subject altogether. If anybody is really interested, we can always get in touch, or if somebody wants to build, we're happy to help with founders first. We do programs in all this structured way, teaching, execution and all that stuff. But I hope today you learned all these things. Let's just repeat these 4 floors for our memory, because the teacher in me always makes sure that you guys learn it. So what is the ground floor? -1 floor. -1 floor. Founder market fit. If somebody doesn't do it, again you have to sit in the session. Founder market fit. What is the next floor? Ground floor. Target customer, and use this word called customer segment. Segment, because every student is not your customer. A segment of it is your customer. That will help you always remember that I have to break it down and I should not target everyone. -1 is product market fit. Product market fit. First one is, ground floor is customer segment. Yeah. After customer segment, what is the next one? I think you need lunch. Next is, think like this, common sense, right? First, నా గురించి ఏంటి అంటే నేను ఎగ్జామ్ క్లియర్ చేయగలుగుతానా లేదా, దాని తర్వాత అసలు ఎవరికి సాల్వ్ చేస్తున్నాను, దాని తర్వాత ఏంటి, వాళ్ళకి ఏం ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది లైఫ్ లో, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. ఆఫ్టర్ దాట్ వాట్ కమ్స్ నెక్స్ట్, అసలు వాళ్ళకి ఎందుకు ఈ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, అజంప్షన్స్. నేను అనుకున్న రీజనేనా, ఇంకేదైనా రీజనా, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ అజంప్షన్స్ కమ్. When I know all these answers, I know who has the problem, what problem they have, ఎందుకు ఆ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, then ఏమొస్తాయి, solutions వస్తాయి. And that is where your solutions will become. Now, does it look logical like a manual now? So there's a trailer, and there's unfortunately most uncommon knowledge that you'll not get it that easily. But once you start applying it, you start realizing that before you build stuff, it is so easy to go through this journey and understand these. And then most of them that we work with, less than 30 to 90 days, spending less than 10-20,000 rupees, they test their ideas and get to know whether it works or not. Most of them don't even build a product, because building product is a luxury. If floor lన్నీ create చేస్తే అప్పుడు product వరకు వెళ్తాం. So most of you will never clear these floors, and even doing all this will help you build your clarity on what to build. Once you have that, your success rate automatically gets better. That is what it is. So now let's take questions and answers like I promised. 12:59. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take it. If all of you are ultra clear, then I'll take your leave for today. Yes.
Face the problem that how do I price my product?
Yes.
If you created something, two people say that go 10x,
I'll get. Fair enough. I'll answer that question. So he's asking that question of how do you price your product? Okay. So what we do is, if you don't know, like let's say you're selling mangoes and you don't know what is the price of the mango, what do you do? Correct. First step is competitors. No, we'll talk about all the scenarios. I tell it to all the cases. One is competitors, but he is telling a very fair point that my mango is so unique that there's no other mango worldwide. We'll look at how much are they, what is the cost of producing that mango. Fair enough. That is called cost-based pricing. Second type of pricing is called value-based pricing. Value-based pricing ఏంటి? కోవిడ్ అప్పుడు మీరు మాస్క్స్ ఎంతైనా పెట్టుకుంటుండే కదా, మీరు కాస్ట్ చూసుకున్నారా? లేదు కదా. This is called value-based pricing. Where is a good example of value-based pricing? All your medicines, healthcare. ఆ టాబ్లెట్ 10 రూపాయలు ఉంటుంది, 250 రూపీస్ అమ్ముతుంటారు. That is called value-based pricing. అంటే that means for them it is worth 250 rupees. Otherwise, I'll not get well, I'll be sick. Getting it now? So that is how you do. But answering more clearly, now this is clear, right? Answering one level deeper, what you need to do is, imagine you still don't know the best price for mango. What can you do? You can put some price, right? Say 70 rupees, 1000, 100 rupees, whatever. And then what can you do next? People are buying for 100 rupees. What can you do next? Yeah, then put 110 rupees. Next. Exactly. See, next put 100, 110, 120, 150, 500 rupees ki, they're still buying. That means you can still go up. Can you see how this is? So there is no right or wrong answer for pricing. Like this value-based and cost-based is one, but most of us do pricing experimentation. So we keep testing different pricing, and we see until some customer complains or gets frustrated, we keep increasing the price. That's how we do pricing. Okay? So what is asking about beyond the 4th floor, right? So once you do the sales part, then we figure out the pricing. That's the 5th floor. Then we figure out the channel, which is the 6th floor. And should I sell it in social media? Should I go door to door and sell? Those are called channels. And in the limited time we have, like I didn't want to cover all that. అక్కడ ఏంటంటే రిపీటబిలిటీ అనే టాపిక్ వస్తుంది అవినాష్. రిపీటబిలిటీలో ఏం చేస్తామంటే we do channel experimentation. So even between social media, going door to door or selling through a vendor, which one should I pick? Akkada there's an experimentation topic that comes. That's where repeatability. But a lot of founders who are making some revenue but they're stuck, when they come to us, that's what we do. We go back and again see the ground floor, first floor and all, and see if it is good or bad. Because if your ground floor, 5th floor is not good, then what is the point of building your 10th floor? So Allah, we fix these things and then we accelerate faster on the upper floors. Or if their upper floors are good, they have some team problems or XYZ, we fix that and we help them do that stuff. Helping. And it's a very generic answer, I know, but depending on the use case, I can give a better answer. At your validation stage, none of you have to leave your college, none of you have to leave your job, none of you have to do it even full time. Even if you spend 5 hours a day, you can actually validate your ideas. The thing is, only when something is validated at a level, you have to leave your job or do full time only when you're seeing some revenue in the company. టీమ్ కూడా ఎప్పుడు అవసరం అంటే మీరు ఏం బిల్డ్ చేస్తున్నారో తెలిస్తే టీమ్ హైర్ చేయండి, లేకుంటే టీం పెట్టి కూర్చోబెట్టి రోజు కొత్త పని చేయించాలంటే మీకు కూడా కష్టమే. సో మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ యూ అన్నెసెసరీ హైర్ టూ మచ్. డోంట్ హైర్. Hire when you have a clear JD. That's a good way, I'll tell you. If you have a proper JD that you can write, and that is really something that people will do full time. then only hire. Otherwise, take help part-time, take help freelance, do everything in your life not to hire people, because you are going to fire them also very soon. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please tell me.
Till now everything is good. So when we are going into founder, like at a founder level, when we have micro effects we can solve like every level. What if business or founder is macro level, which we cannot decide?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think he brought a very good point. ఇది మళ్ళీ మీరు -1 floor లో చూడొచ్చు. There is something called market trends. If Krishnapriya is building stuff around creators, means there was a boom in creators. But if boom in creators goes down, government comes with regulations saying that every creator has to follow some things, then her system will crash. And this is where most of the founders always bet 5 years ahead. So మీరు అందరు ఏంటంటే you can do one small exercise. You can go to ChatGPT and just write one simple thing where you say what is the trends for this for the next 5 years and what are the risks for the next 5 years. Just write these 2 statements down and see. Based on that, you are taking a calculated risk. Anything else that happens in the market is going to be a pivoting and iterating, which is like you are going on a road, suddenly you found a tree that fell down in between. So you have to make a pivot. That is what again a founder's job is, to pivot. There will never be a consistent thing in founder's life. Yeah. Okay. Done? Any last questions? Sorted? Okay. So thank you so much for being nice audience. And I hope all of you guys learned something. Please apply. Don't just clap. I want to see you guys build startups, or at least go try, because like when they're talking about jobs and all, I really wanted to tell you one thing. The thing is, as you go along, even in our company, we are struggling to hire more and more people, because even if I want to hire, I don't have the need to hire. So AI is actually going to be one part of these things. So always look for ways in which you can actually work with startups, try out startups, because if you know these things, people really want to learn or pick people who actually have the skills to solve problems. Okay, so having said that, don't worry about having an idea. Go work with any startup, shadow startups, go work for free, do whatever, gain experience, and don't worry that you have to build a startup. When the time comes, you'll build a startup. First, learn how to build a startup, because building a startup is like learning how to solve problems. And when you learn how to solve problems, you can solve it anywhere in the world. You can do it in Deloitte, you can do it in Google, you can do it anywhere, but learn how to solve problems. That's the reason why we struggle to hire people who are freshers. Okay? Thank you so much. And yeah, good luck for all of you. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.